Good day and welcome back to Talking Technical. Well, it's the end of February and our market is still doing very well. The Nasdaq and the S&P and even the Dow Jones is struggling a little bit to get going above that 200-day moving average. But our market, I call it a fancy market. Our market doesn't matter if there's load shedding, doesn't matter if commodity prices drop or rise. We are always finding an excuse to buy the local market. I'm surprised because one day this load shedding debacle is going to mess our market around, and then people will say, wow, can we believe that? So, well, let's have a look at the first request, and that is Aneck Pharmaceuticals. This is listed on the Nasdaq. And I think our viewer would like to take some profits because he said to me in the email he had some lovely profits already and he would like to know if he must add on to his position. Well, first of all, I'm going to be a little bit cautious because what do I see here? If I look at this support line, there's the support line, quite a clear support line. Suddenly you can see classic a left shoulder here. We see a beautiful head. And we're working on the right shoulder here. But as we can see, we find support every time that we're hitting this neckline here, this big support line. Every time that we get to $77, there is some buyers around. But I would like to concentrate a little bit on this moving average. And this moving average is sitting at 50 days. Now, 50 days is usually a beautiful moving average that medium-term investors can make use of. Usually when it goes above the 50-day moving average, you can see that the share will remain quite a while above that. And if it starts to consolidate below it, we can actually see that the share can lose some momentum. Well, if you look at this head and shoulder formation, first of all, remember we need to break that neckline or that support line, $77. And if it starts to consolidate below $77, it can maybe go down. I just do that projection. Oops, that's a little bit big. Let's go there. Yeah, there you are. It can maybe take the share down to $75.66. But immediately what I pick up here is if the shares come under pressure below 77, look at these gaps. There's a gap. There's another gap. And even here, there's a gap. For me, in technical analysis, we always say that gaps will either close today or tomorrow or sometimes in future. So I'm just going to give you the first two. You can maybe make a note of that and just see maybe in time to come if it does close. The first gap will open up at $74.80. It will close at $74.64. And the next one will open up at $73.72. And it will close at $73.42. But for me, I personally think that Aneck is trying to find its feet, and if it doesn't remain above 77, we can maybe see some sell-off here. But of course, as we all know, technical analysis helps you on both sides, either a positive view or a negative view. And for us, there's the big one. If it goes above that neckline or that resistance line of the right shoulder, that is sitting at $79.22. We can maybe see some new highs, and it can take us maybe back to that old level of $79.89. But as we just spoke about some gaps, there's another gap here. And while this gap is open, the momentum to the downside is in place. And that gap is open between $78.35 and $78.45. So while this is open, the momentum to the downside is in place. Well, let's have a look at another overseas shares. We're going to tackle some local ones now. Viant technology. And I think, oh yes, I can see something here that's maybe why the viewer is asking about. He wants maybe some clarity on it. First of all, this share had a beautiful rally. I mean, from December, we rallied from $3 to almost $5. But what worries me now, can you see there's a top? There's another top. This makes a possible scenario for a double top. But where will be the first signal that something can go wrong here? There you are. I'm going to use the low of that candle. And remember, this is a daily chart. My first sign of weakness will be below this candle, and that will be below $4.26. Then you know that this double top is starting to show its first sign of negativity But always remember, where will this double top only come into play? It will only come into play when this low gets taken out, and that turns into a resistance. And that is, can you believe it? Well, I think the share will really work hard to get there. But that low sits at, there you are, that low sits at $3.15, but I doubt if we will get there, because if that works out, then this company should go under, and that is not, well, it's possible, but it's not likely. But let's have a look here. First of all, I will get nervous below this line, $4.26. That's maybe time to lock in some profits if you believe that this scenario has any way that it can play out. But remember, while we're above this 50-day moving average, the medium-term investors will still be happy. They will still believe that the momentum is to the upside and that the share can go higher. So if you are a medium-term investor, you can sleep well until $4.14, and then below that you must get nervous. Well, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I mean, we called this instrument a while back, and I mean the share, well, the instrument did really well. I'm going to change this to a line chart just to give you an idea how wonderfully this instrument did do. I can remember when it fell off a cliff. A friend of mine actually wanted to buy some here at the bottom, but the margin was so expensive. He said if he buy one contract, he will probably wipe out his whole margin account, because if it goes wrong with a few cents, then it will be in a margin call. But oh dear, I mean the instrument really had one beautiful rally. Let's take away that moving average. Beautiful rally. From that waterfall formation, there was a nice consolidation. Let's just have a look. There was the buying opportunity, the first proper break of that resistance, and that was at $17,871, and we're now at $24. So quite simple. The momentum is to the upside. For those guys that like Bitcoin, the instrument is doing well. It shows you that there's beautiful momentum. And my first place where I will get worried, and everybody always asks me, Frans, do you trade in Bitcoin? Do you like it? I'm still maybe too stupid. I don't understand it, so I'll stick to the normal stocks and the indices, and I'm happy because I probably understand that a little bit more. But where will be the warning for Bitcoin? The warning will be below $23,540. Above that, the momentum is still beautifully to the upside. Well, let's have a look at Kumba, that giant in South Africa that does a lot of iron ore. And I mean, the company is always a good performer. And oh yes, I see, I did analyze it for somebody there. You can see it. And oh, this is also a nice illustrative chart here of what can happen. There you are. The beautiful ascending ascending channel where the share moved in, broke temporarily, break below that, and just 1 or 2 days, and it's back into that momentum to the upside. And this you sometimes see quite a lot. You see that people get involved with this ascending channel. They're happy. They maybe sell there, and just within a day or two, it moves back. But that's also a point in case that, remember, technical analysis is not an exact science. So simple, while it is above this level of 530 Rand 27, yes, it can go back all the way back to 583.90. While it's in this channel, everything is positive, and only below this level, let's get that exact level for you guys. There's the nice level. Yeah, there you are. At below 530 Rand, this ascending channel can maybe break to the downside, and there you are. Where can it take this share to? And remember, Kumba had a nice rally. It's not that it hasn't had a nice rally. It had a beautiful rally. It can maybe take the share down to 484.78 cents. Well, let's have a look at Arecell, one of the favorites of the traders. I know some traders like to dabble into this share. Let's have a look here. Let's do a candlestick chart here, because I think we're going to get the clue there. And well, there you are. You can see this move. I mean, the share went down to 3 Rand 90. It's a classic case of waterfall formation down. You usually get a beautiful spike to the upside. But what is the candles telling us now? The candles are telling us that this rally from around $3, 3 Rand 80 cents, all the way up to 5.20 was almost in a straight line, and maybe it was just a little bit too much. And this possible shooting star is telling us that the momentum can turn to the downside. But where's the golden line? The golden line is the low of that candle. I just want to show you that candle is the shooting star. So below that candle will be R4.60. Below R4.60, the momentum is to the downside, and the share can maybe find some support around R4.14. But for me personally, I think it looks like that Arecell is trying to find its feet, and it's trying to recover some of its losses. Remember, the company came out a while back and they said that the load shedding is really hampering them and they struggle with production, and that's why they're under pressure. And this is what caused this ugly sell-off. I mean, this sell-off happened in a few days from R4.80 to R3.70. But I think investors are starting to realize now that maybe Arecell is going to put up a solar plant or anything like that, or maybe sort the problem out. Or maybe they're in agreement with the government, maybe to say, listen, we will not give you load shedding so that you can carry on with production. That we don't know. But for me, as a short-term trader on this stock, it looks like that the momentum wants to come back a little bit. And if you have a little bit of a longer view, let's quickly have a look at that. The share needs to work hard to regain some investor confidence, and that will only be above that little line. Unfortunately, we're out of time there, but it will only be above, and there you are, above R5.29. We can see the first move to the upside. Well, thank you for watching the show. Visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.